Let's break down the big, scary R word, recession. It's a term you hear on the news, see in headlines, and maybe even talk about with friends or family. But what does it really mean, and why does it matter so much? Imagine the economy as a giant pizza shop, where every slice represents a different part of our daily lives. Jobs, spending, and businesses all working together. When business is booming, everyone's working, pizzas are flying out the door, and the shop is full of energy and excitement. People are earning, spending, and life feels good. But when things slow down for months, not just days, the shop buys less cheese, cuts hours, and maybe even lets people go. The mood shifts, and everyone starts to worry about what's next. That's a recession, a widespread, long-lasting economic slowdown that affects not just one shop, but entire communities and industries. Officially, it's usually defined as 2 straight quarters, 6 months, of the economy shrinking. That means less money moving around, fewer opportunities, and more uncertainty for everyone. It's not just one business or city, it's a domino effect. Less spending, less production, fewer jobs everywhere. The impact ripples out, touching almost everyone in some way. Why now? Because the US economy is showing real signs of slowing down. Reports and experts are warning that the slowdown is spreading. People are spending less, businesses are nervous, and the numbers are starting to show it. You can feel it in everyday life, not just in the news. This isn't just about statistics, it's about real people feeling the pinch. Families worry about bills, workers worry about hours, and everyone feels the stress. Your paycheck doesn't go as far, jobs are harder to find, and prices stay high. Everyday choices become tougher, and saving money feels almost impossible. A recession isn't just a news headline, it's a shared experience of financial anxiety that can unite or divide communities. We'll unpack the warning signs, why they're happening, and what it means for you. So, let's get into it and see what's really going on beneath the headlines. The loudest alarm bell for a recession? Jobs. When people start losing work in huge numbers, it's often the first and most painful sign that the economy is in trouble. In 2025, over 1.1 million people lost their jobs between January and October, a staggering 65% jump from last year. That's not just a statistic, it's a wave of uncertainty sweeping across the country. Major companies like UPS, Amazon, and Target are cutting thousands of jobs, sending shockwaves through industries that once seemed stable. Even tech, once considered unstoppable, is laying off workers at record rates, shattering the myth of endless growth in Silicon Valley. It's not just numbers. Every layoff is someone struggling to pay rent, keep the lights on, or find work to support their family. The job market is tightening, competition is fierce, and it's taking longer than ever to get hired, or even land an interview. In October alone, 153,000 layoffs were announced, the highest for any October in 22 years, a grim milestone that's hard to ignore. Companies are slashing costs, freezing hiring, and bracing for tough times ahead, hoping to weather the economic storm. When businesses cut their biggest expense, their workforce, it's a clear sign the economic party is ending, and the hangover is just beginning. The power is shifted back to employers, making it harder for workers to negotiate pay or benefits, and that changes everything. The recession is hitting home, leaving families across the nation anxious about their future and wondering what comes next. Why is the economy stalling? It's a mix of government policy, technology, and global issues. Tariffs on imports, especially from China, have made supplies pricier and business planning harder. The government's new efficiency drive means federal job cuts, hitting regions like DC, Maryland, and Virginia hard. Fewer government jobs means less spending in those communities, a ripple effect. Meanwhile, AI is replacing jobs faster than ever, especially in tech. Companies are freezing hiring, rethinking their workforce, and using AI to cut costs. On top of that, the labor force isn't growing. There just aren't enough new workers. Add global trade tensions, and you get a perfect storm. All these factors combine to slow the economy down. It's a complex mess, but the result is clear: a major slowdown. The economy isn't just numbers, it's how we feel, day in and day out. Our emotions shape the way we see the world, and right now, there's a lot of uncertainty in the air. Only 4% of Americans think the economy is excellent, over half say it's getting worse. That's a huge gap between optimism and reality. and it's weighing on people's minds. When people feel anxious, they spend less, making the slowdown worse. It's a cycle. Worry leads to less spending, which leads to more worry. Spending is shifting to essentials: food, rent, utilities, while big purchases are on hold. Families are cutting back on extras, focusing on what they truly need. Buy now, pay later services are surging, a sign people are stretched thin. More are relying on these options just to get by, even for everyday items. Fewer people are moving out or starting new households. Young adults are staying home longer. It's not just a trend, it's a necessity for many. Household formation is dropping, a direct response to economic fear. People are putting big life changes on pause, waiting for things to feel safer. Even the top 10% of earners, who drive nearly half of all spending, are starting to pull back. When they hesitate, it sends ripples through the whole economy. If they cut spending, the whole economy could tip. It's a delicate balance, and right now, it feels like we're all on edge. It's a fragile system, and everyone's feeling the strain. The stress is visible in homes, neighborhoods, and communities everywhere. Financial anxiety is changing how we live, spend, and plan for the future. People are rethinking vacations, delaying repairs, and putting off dreams. The mood is bleak, and it's affecting real decisions. The recession is personal, touching every household in ways that go far beyond the headlines. Let's talk about the roommate index, a real sign of financial stress. In 2024, 17% of homes bought were for multi-generational families, the highest ever. People are moving in with relatives or roommates to survive rising costs. Household formation is falling, which means less spending on everything from furniture to appliances. The American dream is shifting from a house with a yard to a spare room in your parents' basement. This isn't just a statistic, it's a sign that, for many, the recession is already here. Quietly, families are making big sacrifices to get by. A recession doesn't hit everywhere at once, it spreads. Right now, 22 states plus DC are officially in recession, 13 more are stalled. That's nearly half the country struggling, including economic giants like California and New York teetering on the edge. If they tip, the whole nation could follow. States reliant on farming, mining, or government jobs are hurting most. But some, like Pennsylvania, are holding up thanks to stable sectors like education and healthcare. The political conversation is confusing. Leaders claim the economy is booming, but millions feel the pain. Recent moves, like firing the Bureau of Labor Statistics Commissioner, make people question the data. The disconnect between official statements and real life is growing. For many, the recession is already real. So, what should you do? First, don't panic. Knowledge is power. Get defensive with your finances. Review your budget, cut non-essentials, and track every dollar. Build an emergency fund, even if it's just a little at a time. Pay down high-interest debt aggressively. Think about your job security. Update your resume, network, and build in-demand skills. Make yourself indispensable at work, but have a backup plan. Remember, recessions are tough but temporary. Focus on what you can control: spending, saving, and skills. Smart defensive moves now can protect you and your family. The economy will recover. Your goal is to weather the storm. Stay informed, stay prepared, and don't let fear drive your decisions. You can't control the national economy, but you can control your own. That's what matters most.